Hi, you are watching Coding with Anthony, and today we'll be learning about HTML forms, specifically drop-down menus. So here's an example of what we'll be creating today over here. Drop-down form example. We'll be able to click a drop-down and choose an answer. So which of the following is closely related to a newt, a frog? What type of dog was Lassie? Was a collie? Which scientist is famous for discovering black holes lose mass over time? That's also known as Hawking radiation, but if I would have put that down, you would know the answer. So we know it's Stephen Hawking. And what baseball team has won the world's most World Series in the last 15 years? San Francisco Giants. And then we click submit. It tells us our score, and up here it'll output that we scored 4 out of 4. So let's get started. First, we're going to create a folder on the desktop. Let's call it Dropdown, and we're going to create some files in the Dropdown folder. I'm going to call one forms.html. You can call it anything as long as it's .html. Create a new folder. This is going to be our CSS file folder, and we're going to create a JavaScript folder. And inside each of these, we'll create more text document, a JS file. So it's going to be called script.js. This is going to hold our JavaScript. And then in CSS, we'll create a new folder, new text document, and that's going to be called stylesheet.css. Okay, now that we got that done, I'm going to open it in my Atom text editor. Okay, so file, add project folder, desktop, and we called it Dropdown. Select folder. Okay, so we see our files here, our script, and our style sheet. So let's start with our forms.html. So let's start by adding our tags, HTML, and then a title tag, form, drop down form, and let's give it, we got a link to our style sheet, so link src, let's say href, href equals css/style sheet.css, and then our rel equals style sheet. And then we got to create a link to our JavaScript file. So script source equals js/script.js. Now we got to close this with a script tag. We don't have to close the link above. Okay, and then we're gonna. I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be within a head tag, so we're gonna add head here, and I'm gonna indent this. Okay, let's close the head tag. Now let's create a body tag, and let's close the body. While we're at it, we'll close the HTML. Okay, in the body, we're going to need to start with the header. So we're going to give a div class equals header, and we're going to do a div ID equals results to display the results. Close the divs. Okay, and in the header we want to give put our title in here. So h1. Then let's call it drop down form example, and a div in our results. Let's give it a temporary div here, a temporary data. Let's call it you scored not yet attempted. Close the h2 tag. Okay, so now we go to our under our header div, and we're going to create another div, and we're going to call it body. Let's close that so we don't forget in the future. And in here we're going to create a form name, and we're going to call it the form quiz. And we're going to give it an on submit. We're going to type in return on submit, which refers to a function that we'll be creating on the JavaScript file. Okay, so now we're going to create our question. We're going to create our question box where our questions go. So we're going to call this div class equals question. And okay, and close that. And inside the question, we're going to create our first input. So we're going to do select ID equals question1, Q1 for short. And let's close the select tag. And inside here, we put something. We use the word option and give it a value. And I'm going to just make the value equal to a. Well, actually, I'm going to start with the blank option, which is what people see when they first see the form. Click here to see a list. Click here. Click for list of answers. Okay, and now we're going to start putting our test together. No, I forgot to ask the question. Okay, so let's go back to our question here. Right under our question, let's put a H3 tag in. Which of the following is closely related to a newt? And we're going to come up with some answers here. So option value equals A. And we're going to do a dog. And close option. And then option value equals B. And B will say cat, which we know is not related. Let's do the right answer here. Option value equals C. And for C, we'll do a frog. They're both in the amphibian family, so that's the correct answer. And for fun, option value equals D. D, shrubbery. I have a thing about shrubberies from Monty Python, and a newt was actually in the movie as someone claimed that the witch turned him into someone they claimed was a witch turned him into a newt, which he just made up. So I forgot to put the T in the newt, so put the T there, and let's just put a question. Let's go up here and do question 1, so they can see which one it is. Okay, so we got that done. So we want to copy this code here and paste it under here. Let's do 4 questions. And okay, so we're going to change this to question 2, question 2. So, what type of dog was Lassie? If you've never seen that show, I can't even remember what it was called, but it might have been called Lassie. It was from like the 50s. It's about this funny dog, or this dog that's always saving the day. Like every time some problem happens, the dog saves the day. So let's see, the options are a pit bull, a dachshund, a Great Dane, an English bulldog, Alright, let's do a couple more questions here. A couple more answers, because you could do any amount you want. You could do any amount of drop downs as you want. So E, F, G, E, F, G. So for E, we'll say German Shepherd. And for F, we'll do a pug. And for G, we'll do a collie, which is the correct answer. Okay. For our third question. Okay. Which was, which scientist, well, let's change this here to 3. Which scientist is famous for discovering that black holes lose mass over time? And we're going to do 3 in this one. So we got Stephen Hawking, which is the correct answer. And let's see, with Albert Einstein and Michio Kaku. Okay, and I thought I pasted. Oh, we messed. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm going to cut this question out because this is a mistake here. So question 3, and let's copy and paste this for question 4, which is, which baseball team what baseball team has won the most World Series in the last 15 years? And we gotta change these two. So this is question 3, question 4, question 4. So A is gonna be Los Angeles Dodgers or San Francisco Giants, Houston Astros. I'm not sure if I'm spelling Houston right. Okay. And let's give it one more here. So option value D will be, I don't know, I was going to do Milwaukee, but good chance spelling that. Anaheim Angels. There we go. Okay, so we got our form set up here, so let's save this. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, got our list of answers here. So our next step is to make it pretty. Oh, we forgot one thing. At the bottom of this question here, and under the div that holds the form, we're going to put a, let's see if that's right. That's the body. Okay. So after the question div, we're going to do button type equals submit. Submit quiz will be the text on the button, and we close the button. Okay, so that adds a submit button on there. Okay, just clean that up a little. Okay, so let's open up our style sheet. And we're going to start with the header. and it has text align center, color. This is for text color, by the way. Color yellow, background image, linear gradient, and we choose a couple colors to go in here. So I'm using Atom, which is a really nice IDE for, let's use turquoise, which is a really nice IDE for web programming. Okay, we're using turquoise. Hex has to go into here, by the way. And our third color will be a darker. Okay. And we need padding 0, 1, 0, 1. No, it's 1 top, right, bottom, left. Okay, I think that's right. So file, save all, and refresh. There we go. Let's make it. Let's make it rounded. 20px. Let's give it a nice round appearance to the corners of this box. There we go. Does not look pretty. Okay. Next step is the body. So we need a text align center, and we need a border style of solid, and we need let's see, border, and that puts a border around all the edges. And let's do a border radius of 20px, and let's also come in here and put our colon, which is required, and let's save this, cancel. I don't know what I did. Save all. There we go. So that looks good. Let's separate the two. So we're going to do a margin top 10 pixels. That'll put a little gap between the header and the body. Alright, so thirdly, we work on the questions. So we could actually copy this. We don't need text align center. Paste it in here. And we could get rid of this margin top to be margin of 10 pixels by 15% on the left side. Another 10 pixels by another 15% on the right side. That'll give us and oh yeah, one more thing is a background color of gray, a light gray. So save all and refresh. Okay, we need a padding bottom of let's try 10 pixels. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so we got our quiz looking good. So now comes the fun part, the JavaScript. So what we're going to do is create our function, and if you remember earlier, we created the function for the form where it returns the onSubmit function when the button for the form is clicked. Okay. We're going to need a score variable. And I'm going to do a bunch of of comments on here so you could remember better. Holds total score from the quiz, num of questions equals, we got 4 questions, holds the number of questions. We're going to do an answer array, and we're going to declare it as an array, and this stores, actually I gotta go in here and declare what the right answers are. So question 1, the answer is C. Question number 2, the answer is G. Question number 3, the answer is A. And question 4, the answer is B. And this array holds, create an array to hold the answers to the test. And finally, we're going to declare a variable Q array, and that array, this array will store the questions the user inputs. Alright, so now we want to loop through each question. Okay, so for there I equals 1, I less than equal to num of questions, I plus plus. Okay, and now we're going to we're going to retrieve the questions and store them into the Q array. Okay, equals document dot get element by ID, and it's going to be Q plus I. Alright, so Q plus I, so I will, whatever loop it's on, it'll grab that data. So this stores the value of the submitted question into the array. At index I. Oh yeah, and we start at I minus 1 because the array's index starts at 0, and as you can see, we started the loop at 1. Alright, now that we got this far, let's see if we're getting data. Oops, what the heck? Let's see if we're getting data into our question array. Is that right? Okay, up here we got to do dot value. Okay, let's save this, and we chose element number 2. So let's choose Dachshund. Yep, there it goes. So whatever one we choose will come up here. So E, G is G. Okay, good. Alright, so the next thing we do is we're going to check to see if we missed any of these, if any of the questions was not answered. So under here we're going to do if q array I minus 1 equals blank. Basically there's nothing in there, nothing in that element. We're going to alert you missed question and concatenate it with I. So now if we save this and we only answer 1, 3, and 4, it's going to warn us that we haven't. Okay. Let's try again. There, it works. I don't know, I must have forgot to refresh it. Okay, so if we choose Doug, Stephen Hawking, and Los Angeles Dodgers, it's going to alert us that 2 is missed, so we now fix that problem. Okay, so now we're going to loop through each array and compare it to each other. So we're going to loop through the answer array and the question array and compare them to each other to see which answers you got right and which answers you got wrong. So for var I equals 0, I less than we got a Q question array. Yeah, we want to go through the question array. Okay. Dot length I plus plus. So now we're going to loop through the question array and match it to the answer array. So if inside here we create a conditional statement, if question array I equals answer array I, add 1 to the score. Alright, so let's do an alert score, and this is just to see if it's working. So file, save all. So we got a frog, a collie, Stephen Hawking, and the Giants. Should alert us with the number 4. And it did not. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I don't know what I did wrong. It's working. So frog, collie, Stephen Hawking, and Giant should return 4. There it is. Okay, well, good, it works. So now we have to create. Oh, first let me comment this for you. So this is loop through each element of the arrays and compare them to each other. And then here we'll do adds 1 to the score variable. Okay. So let's get the ID results. And we lost, I need to indent here. Okay. I'm a stickler, I know it. So we're going to do variable results equal document dot get element by ID results. So this grabs the ID results and stores it in this variable, and then we get to adjust it. So let's write that here. Gets the ID results and stores it in the variable results. Okay, and now we could modify the HTML within the ID results by doing an inner HTML statement on results. And we could just put whatever we want, whatever HTML code we want inside the results. So we're going to do an H2, and we're going to say you scored plus score plus out of, and then plus num of questions plus, and then we're going to close our H2 tag, put semicolon. So this changes, so the comment will be this changes the text within the results ID. And now let's just do an alert with the same stuff. Alert, you scored out of. Okay, so this, let's save this here, and let's refresh this, and let's take the test. So let's get them all right for the first one. And it should say we scored 4 out of 4, which it does. And it doesn't keep the score because I forgot to do the return false statement. Get that in the right place. Okay. Let's try one more time. So let's just guess randomly. We scored 1 out of 4. And it says right here. Well, I hope this video was informative. And if you liked it, please click like, subscribe, and if you can, share it so other people could find this information and maybe it'll help them too. Thank you for watching this video, and keep your eye open for more.